Welcome back to Cooking with Grace. I am Grace, and today we're going to be cooking Southern comfort food. Now, today is Mother's Day, and I am not a mother, but I am a sexy Titiana. I'm a sexy Titiana. So I might not be a mother, but I am a TT. And big surprise, my older sister is going to be having a baby, so I am expecting, and I'm going to be a TT. So happy Mother's Day to all the TTs, because you know, when the mother is not there, you fall in line. So I salute you. They don't salute us. They need to have National TT Day or something. Maybe they do. They have everything else on the calendar, but this is about the mothers. So happy Mother's Day to all of the mothers out there. Today we're going to be cooking Southern comfort foods. And there's a little bit something off with my lighting on my camera. I don't know what it is, but I'll figure it out. If I don't, bear with me. You'll still enjoy the video. Trust me. Today we're going to be making collard greens with smoked turkey necks and cornbread. Southern comfort food. So let's not stay here too long. Let's get into the video. Okay, guys. So we're back in the kitchen, and I'm going to show you guys what I got. I got these from Save-A-Lot. Everything came from Save-A-Lot. So the first thing that I have is our collard greens. So we're going to be cooking collard greens. These were $1.49 a pound, I believe. And this came out to $2.68, which is not expensive at all. And one thing I want to say about greens that people should know is when you cook greens, they're going to cook down. So this is really going to look like nothing once it cooks down, but it's just me. Maybe I'll eat off of it for a few days, but anytime you buy greens and you cook them, you cut them, they're going to cook down. So if you're cooking for one, this is fine, but if you're going to be cooking for a large group of people, I would recommend, maybe this is probably like 1.5 pounds. I would recommend getting like 8 pounds. If you're going to be cooking for like a family of 5 or a big family, you know, and it's boys or men in the house, I would definitely say get about 8 pounds, because it's definitely the next thing that I have is smoked turkey necks. Now, there is a difference between just buying regular turkey necks and buying smoked turkey necks. So these are Save-A-Lot smoked turkey necks, and this was only $4.17. And it says it was $1.82 per pound. So this is about 2 pounds worth of smoked turkey. I prefer to get the smoked turkey because the smoked turkey is already seasoned. I don't like to use a lot of seasoning salt, and the smoked turkey has the perfect amount of sodium and seasoning in the meat already, so I don't have to throw in a large amount of seasoning. So I am going to rinse everything off. I'm going to rinse off the collard greens. We're going to pick them. I'm going to rinse the meat, and we're going to cook them together. Because this is smoked, it's already pre-cooked, so it's okay to go ahead and cook it while I cook the greens at the same time, so that the seasoning can just get into the next thing we're going to be making is the cornbread, and I am using Jiffy Cornbread in the box. Those were $2 for $1. And then I have some large eggs. These were 99 cents. And I have some, I can't believe it's not butter. I do have some ginger, garlic, pimento seasoning, and some onion powder that I'm going to be adding. I love the way this smells, and I love the way it tastes, so I am going to add it into the greens. And I have some vegetable oil by Goya, and I'm just going to add like a teaspoon of this. I would have added vinegar, but I don't have any, but just a teaspoon of this in the water just to cook the greens down. So I'm going to start off with picking the greens. And first we have to take the little band from around the greens. And if you're not like from a family that cooks a lot, you wouldn't know that you need to pick your greens. Now, the important thing about picking your greens is that when you pick your greens, like this one is pretty much already ready, and we are going to cut them down, but we're going to do that after we wash the greens. So if you never picked greens before, what you want to make sure is that you don't throw away the whole green. So just because you see the stem in the middle, that doesn't mean that you have to start ripping from up here. You start ripping right along the line of your stem. Now, if you were in your grandmother's kitchen and you start picking these greens and you picked the little, you know, you left a whole bunch of the green on the stem, you will surely get in trouble. So I'm trying to save you. So this is what it should look like after it is dissected. So I'm going to go ahead and put the greens into that pot, and I'm just throwing them into this pot, and then we're going to wash them. And the purpose of washing them is to pretty much, these are greens, so they come out of a from a garden, so or farm, you know, whatever, it's vegetation, so it has, you know, like dirt and crud on it. So we just want to make sure that we clean them off and get some of that soil off of the greens. So you want to make sure that you pick those greens. Do not leave a whole bunch of your greens on the stem. Okay, so I'm just going to speed this up and go ahead and clean the greens. Now, some people do like to leave some stem inside the greens, and I'm one of those people, so I'm going to leave just a little bit of stems in our greens. And I believe that the stems carry a certain type of vitamin, so I do like to keep just some stem in my greens. But you do want to make sure that you definitely cook your greens down, because if the stems are hard, honey, you just then messed up a whole southern dish. Okay, guys, so these are the greens, and I'm just going to go ahead and turn the water on cold and rinse the greens. And you can see already that they're just shrinking down in the pot. So they're going to shrink even more when they cook. I'm just going to clean them off and get some of this grit out of here. I tend to do them in cold water, and that's just because, I don't know, I always use like my hospital logic, and in the hospital they cut on cold air to keep down the germs, and I just think for some reason that cold water will flush the bacteria better, like it's for rinsing. So I don't know. Just my own cooking logic that I came up with over time. You know, we all come up with some type of myth. Sometimes they're right. Sometimes it's merely us just overthinking. You know, rinse this. We're gonna see a lot of green come off of there. If you see that water, it was really green. But we don't want to take away too many of the vitamins from the greens. So we're not going to rinse it too much. Okay, guys, so we're back. So the greens are all rinsed, and now I'm going to slice them. Now, sometimes when you go into the store, you can buy greens, and when you buy the greens, they want you to buy them shredded. But I don't like to shred the greens that way. I just don't. I don't know. It's a texture thing. But I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to cut my greens on a diagonal. So I'm going to take them out. And you can take as many as you want. You don't have to take them any uniform type of way. But I'm going to take them like this, just in a bunch. Let me make sure you guys can see. So I'm going to take them just in a bunch like this, and I'm going to slice on the diagonal. Just like that. You see? That way they don't look like, they don't look shredded. They just look chopped. And that's better for me. as you can see, they're not shredded. It really more so looks like pieces instead of shred. So it's better like that. I don't like to cook them too thin and then it looks like stringy. I like for it to be a thicker texture. So I'm just gonna continue and chop the rest of them down that same size. And as you can see, I did leave some of the stem on there for nutrition purposes. Okay, so now we're just gonna transfer these back into the pot and we're gonna add water. Now we're gonna add enough water that covers the entire pot of greens, just because the water is going to cook down and it's eventually going to evaporate while it softens the greens. So we do want to have enough water in there. So we're going to go ahead and stuff this into the pot, push it down a little bit so it's not heaping over. And we're going to take it back to the sink. We're going to add water. And then we're also going to rinse the turkey necks. So you want to rinse these because they do have a lot of sodium. So we want to rinse these off first before we add them into the pot with the greens. So I'm just going to take them out of their packaging and I'm going to place them into this little Tupper bowl here, and then I'm going to rinse them off. And like I said, these won't take long to cook because they're smoked, which means they're already pre-cooked. Okay, so now we're going to add water back into our greens. We're going to add a large amount so that the greens are fully covered. Now you don't want to add it all the way up to the brim of the pot because then it will start boiling over. But you do want to put enough water in the pot. The greens are tough and they really need to soften up. Okay, so like I said before, you do want to at least cover the greens. Okay, so right now this is how much water we have in the greens and it's covering the greens up. Now we're going to go ahead and rinse off our turkey neck. And again, I'm rinsing all of this in cold water. And I'm just going to add them to the pot. Make sure I just rinse them thoroughly. I don't want to rinse all the salt off, but I do want to rinse them thoroughly. If you can see that water is not really clear, it's like a salty color, and that's because of the salt from the greens. Okay, so this is what our pot is looking like. We have the greens and we have the turkey, the smoked turkey on the top. Now, next thing we're going to do is throw this on the stove so that it can start to boil and cook down. Probably would have to add more water into the pot because it's going to evaporate, but you want to do that in time. You don't want to fill it all the way up to the top. You want to take time and go ahead and do that. Okay, so we have the greens in the pot. The next thing we're going to do is add some vegetable oil. I'm going to add a small, not even a half a cup, a small, very small midget into the water. And then I'm going to go ahead and add my very few seasonings. Like I said, it's smoked, so it's already seasoned. I'm just going to go ahead and add some, this is onion powder. Going to go ahead and add some onion powder. I'm going to add a generous amount because, again, there's water in here. So it's going to cook down, and I'm going to add some ginger, garlic, pimento. And I'm going to add this generously because in a small amount because this has a very distinctive taste, and I don't want it to overpower the greens. So now I'm just going to Make sure that those seasonings get into the water. I'm not going to stir it. I'm just going to push it down. As you know, the seasonings will cook through the water. So I'm just going to cook those down. So as you can see, this is what it's looking like right now. And it's going to cook down. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the cornbread. Now, there's no collard greens without cornbread. I don't know. This makes me think of my girl Fantasia. There's no collard greens without cornbread, okay? This is, like I said, a southern dish. This is like my grandmother's favorite meal. Collard greens and cornbread. Like, she can eat this all throughout the day. So I'm going to go Southern comfort food. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to unbox this. I'm going to pop this right on open, and it's like a bag, so you want to open it like this. Pull from both ends and open it. Be very careful. I'm going to go ahead and pour it into here. Now, sometimes I will use almond milk. If you guys don't know why I'm using Can't Believe It's Not Butter and almond milk, and you haven't watched any of my other videos, it's because I have a dairy allergy. So that's why I use certain substitutions. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the cornbread in here. Then I have a pot of water here. I'm gonna go ahead and pour the water into, and I'm going to watch it because you don't want to pour too much water. You want this to get like creamy. You don't want it to be lumpy. You want it to be creamy, but you don't want it to be too watery because it does have to be firm so that it can cook like a cake, so that it can bind together. So you don't want it to be too watery, and then your cornbread won't be a bread. It'll be, I don't know, cornbread soup. So I'm just going to stir that, and I'm going to add an egg, just one egg. The more cornbread you have, the more eggs you will add, but I'm going to add one egg to this mixture. And it's a little bit lumpy, so I'm going to go ahead, and I added the egg. Now I'm going to whip it. Now, some people will use a blender for this, but for me, it's the flick of the wrist, okay? You don't need a blender for this. So I'm just going to keep stirring, keep whipping it until all the lumps and the bumps are gone. Now, if you're still a cooking beginner, and if you follow directions well, you can do this without watering down your cornbread. But if you're a cooking beginner, read the box so that it can tell you the proportions of water if you're going to use your measuring cups. I never used measuring cups growing up. I always eyeball my food. And I think that's how I grew my passion for cooking, because it was just something that I love to do. I watched my grandparents do it, and so I kind of just picked up on it. But I'm going to keep stirring this, and it's already very smooth, so I really don't have to do that much. I'm going to go over and preheat the oven, and I'm going to grab this pan. So we're going to cook it in this pan. I'm going to grab some Can't Believe It's Butter. I'm going to use my knife, and I'm going to drop some of the butter into my batter. Now, this is a secret, guys, okay? I'm going to drop some of my butter into the batter. I'm also going to use a little bit of honey. Now, don't steal my recipes. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of honey. And this is just to sweeten it up because I don't have my almond milk. I'm going to put a little bit of honey. Okay. And I see a little bit of lumps, so I'm going to put a little bit more water, just a little bit, and I'm going to keep stirring. And you want to make sure you rake the bottom because some of the product will sit at the bottom. And don't think that you have to get it completely smooth. Inevitably, there are still going to be some lumps. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is go ahead and add butter to the bottom of our pot. Okay, we want to add it to the bottom, and you want to add it to the sides, and that's so that it does not burn. Okay, you don't want your cornbread to burn, so you want to give it some butter to stick to. And this is a generous amount of butter, so I would recommend using Can't Believe It's Not butter, or another butter alternative that's not regular butter, just so that you can reduce the amount of fat that you use. And I have that a little bit of everywhere, and again it's going to spread, and that was the part of the reason of adding butter into the mixture, so that'll help it prevent it from sticking too. So we're just going to pour our batter into our pot. Okay. And there we have it. We have our collard greens and we have our cornbread all cooking. I'll be back to you guys. I'm going to clean up a little bit, but I'll be back to you guys so that we can check on the progression of the food. Okay, guys, so we're going to check on the food right now. They're true, and the cornbread is all good to go. So we're gonna go ahead and take the cornbread out because it looks like the cornbread is ready. So let me take my fork and check. So this is how you can check and see if your cornbread is ready. So what you want to do to your cornbread is take your fork and stick it down the middle. If you stick it down the middle and it comes out and there's no wetness, moisture, then your cornbread is done. So our cornbread is officially ready. It smells good. So I'm just gonna take it out and cut off the stove. And then we're gonna butter the top of the cornbread. So I'm going to grab the Can't Believe It's Not butter. I'm going to grab the Can't Believe It's Not butter from the fridge so that we can put the butter onto the cornbread. And then we're going to let it sit so that it's just like a cake. We're going to let it sit so that it doesn't fall apart and it cools down. When it cools down, it sticks together better. We don't have to worry about it crumbling apart. So we have the butter. I'm going to take the back of this fork and scoop this out, and I'm just going to place butter across the cornbread. You can see if you look around the rim of the pot, because I put that butter right there, it's not stuck. So once it cools off, it's going to be easy for us to get that cornbread off the pot without it sticking. Okay guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and give our greens a taste. I'm done, but I just want to give them a taste. This is always the best way to check the food. Taste it. Tasting pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and add a little more seasoning. So I'm gonna go in with our onion powder. go in a little bit more with the pimento. And I'm going to add a small little amount of salt. And I'm going to add this much of salt. Stir that up. Okay, guys, so the food is just about done. The next time you see this food, it'll be on a plate and I'll be preparing to eat it. So I just wanted to show you guys, remember that I said in the beginning that I wanted to have the that the greens were going to cook down. So look, I don't know if you guys could tell from the beginning of the video to now how much they've cooked down, but remember it was almost at the top rim. And I also told you guys that I didn't want to stop cooking the greens until the turkey necks started to break down. So let me show you what I meant. So if you take a look in the pot, the turkey necks have actually broken down. You can even see bones from how much the turkey necks tenderized and broke down. So I'm going to serve this up. I'm sorry for smoking up the camera, but I'm going to serve this up and I'll see you guys for the outro. Okay, guys, so if you made it to the end of this video, you're the real MVP. Here is our southern collard greens and cornbread. It's served up, it's ready to be eaten. Okay, I'm going to dive in. I have my turkey all on there. The cornbread is well buttered. This is Southern comfort food. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, share with your friend, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.